I'm 21 years old, and in the last year, I made almost $400,000. And I'm pretty much just sitting here reflecting on 2025 because that's the only way to get better, to look back on the year, see what you did right, you can double on it, go even harder. What you did wrong, you learn from, and you take those lessons so that way you don't, repeat that same mistake again. But yeah, pretty much in this video, I'm going to go over how 2025 went for me, things that I did right, things that I did wrong. And yeah, if you guys are people that don't care about making money, you guys don't care about improving your lives, then please click off this video. This video is not for you. But if you're someone that's trying to actually better themselves and want to learn from someone else's mistakes, like mine, then stay on this video. There's a saying that goes, I think it goes like this. I might mess up, but it goes, smart people learn from their own mistakes. Some geniuses learn from other people's mistakes. Something like that. You guys get what I'm trying to say. But that's pretty much the point of this video. So I'm going to go over 2025 and what I plan on doing in 2026 to double, maybe even triple what I made in 2025. So like I said, in 2025, I made almost $400,000, and that was strictly off of, reselling. So pretty much, what I do, I'll break it down very simple for you guys. I buy products in bulk from China, stuff like AirPods, stuff like cologne, stuff like designer clothing, watches, whatever it is that's trendy and has high demand. I'll buy it in bulk from China. And then once it arrives to my house, I'll market it on marketplace apps like eBay, Facebook, Depop. I'll sell it on my social media. I'll sell it to stores. Literally anywhere I can sell my product, I will be there. I maximize, which I'm proud of. I maximize, anything. I don't just stick to just one thing, which is what I used to do in 2023. When I first started this 2.5 years ago, what I would do is I would list on Facebook, and that's it. Even though there's eBay, there's Depop, there's OfferUp, there's Mercari, there's Elias, there's Go, there's StockX, the list goes on. There's social media. You can build a personal brand and then sell to those followers. Nowadays, my stories get like 20,000 story views. I can literally post anything on my story. I can literally post a pencil, and I'm sure that out of those 20,000 people, someone's going to probably buy that pencil. That is the power of having a personal brand, of having, built up a social media. That's ridiculous to me. I can literally post a story and sell anything. In 2025, the things that made me the most money were for sure the beginning of the year. Spider hoodies were doing really good because obviously it was winter. Colognes, I started selling colognes. Those really popped off. AirPods, I've always been selling my whole life pretty much. Those are always making money. But those are probably the top three. And they did pretty well, bro. I think the difference between 2025 and 2024 is this year I actually, I was consistent. So I would respond to my DMs. I would post every day. I posted stories every day, a bunch of stories. I was consistent, and I actually took advantage of the fact that I built up a personal brand. I have followers. Last year in 2024, I had followers on social media, and I was doing good on marketplace apps, but I wouldn't respond to my messages. I was just lazy. I was just so lazy. And that was the biggest difference between 2024 and 2025 is the fact that now I was actually consistent. And that is the main thing, bro. Be consistent with whatever it is you're doing. Even if you're not doing reselling, whatever it is you're doing, consistency is key, bro. And everyone will say this shit. It's cliche. As cliche as it is, everyone says it, bro. Consistency is everything, bro. It beats literally everything. So be consistent with whatever it is you're doing. So that's my biggest difference, I guess, between 2024 and 2025 and how I made a lot more money was being consistent. Now, my biggest mistake in 2025, which I want you guys to learn from, is do not spread yourself too thin. So what I did, I was selling, for example, like I said, the AirPods. I was selling the colognes. I was selling the Spider hoodies, whatever it is. I started to branch out into too many products at the same time. So at one point, I had like 10 different products. I was selling fucking Prada glasses, Dyson, all types of clothing and shoes. I was literally selling everything you can think of, thinking that, okay, the more products, the more money, which can be true sometimes. But the way that I did it was stupid. You know what I'm saying? I was just buying, for example, 10 units at a time of a certain product, which gives me horrible prices in bulk. If you guys don't know, the more products you buy, like the more units, the better the prices will be per unit. So I can't afford to buy, 500 units per item for 10 different products. I can't afford that. But that's the way to get the best price. But I can't afford to do that for that many products. So I spread myself too thin. I was getting horrible profit margins. I was losing focus on my main products that were making me the most money. And in the end, I had the worst month that whole year. So do not spread yourself too thin. Focus on one product. I promise you, like, at first focus on one product. Eventually, when you have a bunch of capital, you can focus on 2 or 3, whatever it is. But do not spread yourself too thin where you can't afford to run all of them, which is what I did wrong, by the way. So that's a big mistake that I made. Another mistake that I made was getting complacent and getting comfortable. At one point back in like July or August, I was making a lot of money. and I just like let my foot off the gas. And that is the worst thing you can do, bro. When you do that, there's a lot of guys that are hungry out there. It's not just you that's hungry for this. There's a lot of guys that are hungrier than me that want to win so badly. So when I let my foot off the gas, they're all coming right. They're flying past me. So if you have momentum, bro, if you have momentum, do not let go of the gas. When you're 50 years old, 60 years old, 70 years old, you can let your foot off the gas. But for now, when you're young, never let your foot off the gas. No matter how much money you're making, keep grinding, keep hustling, and never let your foot off the gas. Because I promise you, bro, if you do let your foot off the gas, someone will take your spot. That is a guarantee. Someone will take your spot. Now, I think a big mistake that a lot of beginners make is they go into reselling thinking that it's a side hustle. I'll make a few $100 and I'll buy some shoes with it, whatever it is that I want, and that's it. Bro, the truth is, reselling can be turned into a real, like an actual business. I mean, look at me, for example. Dude, I made almost $400,000 in a single year. Profit. That's not revenue, that's profit. I know guys that are making millions of dollars. I'm just a baby fish. It's a real business if you treat it like a real business. If you go into like it's a side hustle, you won't make that much money. You'll make $100, $200, and that's it. There's a lot more that can be done with reselling than just posting on Facebook or posting on eBay. You could literally hire a team, bro. You could literally hire a team to do stuff for you. For example, a VA from Pakistan to respond to your messages, for example. Or you could literally have templates for social media to where now you're building your personal brand. Like I told you guys, you can build your own personal brand and sell to your audience. You can also, on top of reselling to your audience, you can now teach them and get paid for it on top of that. So I truly think that's the main thing that separates me and you is I treat like a real business, you treat like a side hustle. And that's why I get paid business money and you get paid side hustle money. So how do I plan on making more money in 2026? Double, triple, or even quadruple what I made in 2025? Because, bro, honestly, anything is possible. So the plan is very simple, and I know I'm going to hit at least double. The plan is very simple, bro. Double down on what worked for me in 2025. So what worked for me in 2025? I sold, instead of 10 different products, I sold only 3. So focusing on, quality over quantity. We're going to also systemize everything, which is going to be like the main game changer. So meaning I'm going to have someone package up the orders for me. Someone, respond to my messages for me. Someone monitor the listings for me or list stuff up for me. I'm going to also help my students implement all my strategies and, my systems. That way they make more money. Because the more money that they make, the more money I make. It's like it's not really selfish. We both win. But that's literally how it goes. The more money they make, the more money I make. So I have every reason in the world to help them. Not only does it feel good, but it makes both of us a lot of money. So, I love it. But yeah, bro, just double down on everything. Post more content, better content, be more consistent, systemize everything, have everything be automated. That way I can do whatever I want and still make even more money. I can put all my focus towards content rather than the actual business itself. I can have more money to invest as well. The more money I make, the more money I can invest, meaning I'll make even more money. So, that's what I plan on doing. And on top of that, like I said, helping the students out, giving them results. That way I can also make money. But yeah, bro, I'm going to end off this video here. Just wanted to come on here and say, I'm very blessed. 2025 was an amazing year. 2026 will be an even better year because foot on the gas forever. I'm never letting my foot off the gas again. I saw what happened when I did that last time, so we're going all in all of 2026. Expect a lot more videos coming soon, just explaining everything and how to implement what I'm doing. That way you guys can also follow along. I'm not here to charge you guys anything. It's all free on YouTube. You guys will see everything. So if you guys are new to this channel, please subscribe, like. If you have any questions or have anything you guys want to say, comment it down below. I'll be going through all my comments. Just I don't get that many. So, yeah, like, subscribe, comment. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.